I know it's early for a lot of people right now. I know on the East Coast right now it's 8:48. Excuse me, a.m., which is not really early for me. I get up early every day just by default. And the only two people sleep in this house still is my kids, my teenagers who can sleep 11, 12 hours and not be tired. But my wife is up. She chilling, most likely. Um, which she deserves to chill. One of the hardest working people I've ever met in my life. So she deserves as much chill time as possible, man. But I wanted to get on live today again. Last time I was on here, my live ended up getting interrupted by a spam call. You know what I'm saying? I needed to do something about that because when I went back and looked at the live, I noticed that you guys could still hear me, but you couldn't see me. And so I think we were talking about what was I talking about on the last live? I was talking about Bronny James, right? The Bronny hate. And I was starting to get into that discussion pretty heavily, and then I got the spam call. My live ended, and that was that. You know what I'm saying? That's how the first live went. So you can't really plan this stuff. You can't really. I mean, you can prepare to get on live and talk about stuff, but you just don't know who you're talking to, who gonna join, or whatnot. But shout out to YouTube, man, for this feature, and I see a lot of people using it and pushing it. So I'm gonna continue to do the same thing. But as I get on here today, man, early on a Sunday morning, man, I kind of just want to talk to people about, um, expectations. I think that, like, you know, even from an NBA perspective, I think that the expectations are just unrealistic for a lot of people, as a fan. Like I was talking about Bronny James, and Bronny is being scrutinized just by the multitudes, right? And so I just think that for somebody to be 19 years old with the expectations of like 40 and 50 and 60-year-old men and 30-year-old men saying that he's trash and he's not this, he's not that. I just think you got to really look at yourself at 19 years old and imagine the expectations that was put on you. And nobody probably knew who you was, like except for your family, right? You probably had all these expectations from your parents to be a good person, to go to college, get a good job, not hang with this crowd, not hang with that crowd. But those expectations that your parents had for you, at times probably seemed overwhelming. So imagine being in his shoes and having the expectations of all of these people who don't even really know him, have just briefly seen his game, might not necessarily know the work he's put in, but pretty much, have set these expectations or set the bar so high for this man that it's just ridiculous. So I'm just here to talk about expectations, man. I think that sometimes you got to just really, really shut out the world when it comes to expectations. Good morning, good morning, good morning, man. I don't know if it's morning where you're at. It's 8:51 a.m. in the United States of America on the East Coast right now, man. So shout out to everybody that's joining the chat, man. Shout out to all 20 people in the chat right now. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hey, comment in the chat what country you in right now. Comment what country you in right now. I would love to know. Again, over here in the United States of America, East Coast, it's 8:52 a.m. As a matter of fact, comment what time it is where you at right now. And I really do appreciate you guys. If you like this live, man, if you're into this content over here on this channel, hit that subscribe button for me. Matter of fact, hit the like button on this live real quick, man. That like button always help, man. Always help. Um, Shout out to Albania, man. Oh yeah, God first, man. God first. God first. As a matter of fact, interesting that you said that. And I'm not here to push religion on anybody, but you see what my cup says. Hopefully you can read that, man. It says faith before fear. Faith before fear, man. You know what I'm saying? In the midst of a lot of craziness going on in our country right now, I heard somebody say yesterday that our country is like a bad Tubi movie right now, and that was a pretty accurate assessment of what's going on right now. But nah, man, I got on here, man. Shout out to Sydney, Australia, man. Shout out to Sydney, Australia. We got United Kingdom, Albania, Czech Republic, man. Wow, man. Wow, it's just crazy to see what time it is in different countries, man. You said it's 10:52 in Sydney, Australia, and it's 8:53 a.m. here. It's bright and sunny. Um, Oh yeah, man. God is the greatest for sure, man. For sure, bro. Like, I really do appreciate everybody that's joining. Let me just like and subscribe real quick. You're a nice guy. You know that. Hey, I appreciate that. I really do appreciate that, man. I'm getting on here because I just got to the point on my channel after being on YouTube for about a year and a half. I finally created subscriptions because I finally hit my watch time hours. I finally hit the subscription, not the subscription, but the subscriber count that I needed to actually get to this point to be able to start to do different type of content for my channel. You know what I mean? Shout out to Pakistan. You know, all of these countries, man, I appreciate you subscribing, man. I really do. And hopefully you enjoy the content that I put out. You know, mainly it's fashion, it's life, it's sports, it's culture, and it's all positivity over here, man. So you're never gonna get on this channel and catch a bunch of mess. You know what I mean? So I'm on here to really just talk to the people, man. Get some feedback on the topics that I bring to the channel. You know what I mean? And let me know what you think, man. Tell me about some of the topics you guys are into, things that you might want to hear me speak on. And again, all positivity, man. But I wanted to get on here this morning to kind of just talk about expectations because sometimes I really started this with my last live when I was talking about Bronny James. If you guys aren't into sports and you don't know about the NBA or things like that, Bronny James is the son of LeBron James, right? Arguably one of the greatest players to ever play the game. And so his son is now in the NBA, and it's just a lot of expectations, a lot of people talking about just crazy stuff about him. And I just want people to stop for a second and think about the expectations, right, that people placed on you when you were 18, 19 years old. You know what I mean? How difficult was it for you? And I appreciate everybody in the chat, man. Let's talk about no pineapple on pizza. Oh, man, yo, that's a crazy topic. That is a crazy topic. And I probably have the most unpopular opinion about that. He said no pineapple on pizza. First of all, everybody that's against pineapple on pizza, comment in the comment section, man. Yeah. Comment in the comment section if you're against pineapple on pizza. I have an interesting take on that. I have a very interesting take on that. I've been vegetarian now for probably, I don't know, it's been some years now. My wife would debate how many years it's been, but it's been a long time since I've eaten meat. But I will say this, when I did eat meat, cheese and pepperoni pieces busting, Cabin Wood County, hey man, shout out to everybody. Yeah, I'm vegetarian, so haven't always been this way. But when I did used to eat meat, there was this pizza spot that we used to go to all the time, and there's a lot of them. I don't know if you're in the United States, maybe you heard of, God, what's the name of the place? I can't even remember right now. I just drew a blank. But the pizza place had this pizza. It was like a jerk. It was called, I don't know, it was some kind of jerk pizza. And they had like jerk chicken and jerk sauce, and it did have pineapples on it. And I'm gonna tell you like this: the pineapples and the jerk sauce, I don't know, man. I'm not. Listen, this is the first time I ever had pineapples on a pizza, and that pizza was good. I can't even cap. Yeah, man. Nah, I appreciate you, man. Yeah, like I would hope that people pick up that vibe from me. I'm not over the top. I'm not, you know what I mean? Like it's just my personality. I'm honestly an introvert, you know what I'm saying? To keep it real. I'm a real private person. But when you do YouTube, man, you got to connect with the people that's supporting you. And that's what these lives are all about, just meeting new people and just really connecting with people, trying to find out what you guys want to see from me. Like how can I be better on my channel? Like what type of topics, you know what I'm saying? Oh, for sure. College football, definitely, man. Definitely. I was just telling my wife, man, and shout out to you, man. Mountaineer Paul Talks Football. Shout out to you, man, for asking that question. I just told my wife yesterday. We was out on a Friday night. No, Saturday night. Yesterday was Saturday. And we was out, doing a date night thing. And I was telling her, I was like, yo, college football comes out, I think on the 19th, the video game. And she was like, you gonna get it? I'm like, most likely, you know what I'm saying? Because she know how I am about Madden, lifetime NFL Madden player. In the NCAA football was my game. And my team, let me go ahead and get this out the way. Show my sneaker collection. Yes, I will do a video about that at some point in time. My team, my college football team, I am a Tar Heel fan, bro. I'm a UNC Tar Heel fan, and I'm not like a part-time UNC Tar Heel fan. I am a UNC Tar Heel football fan, soccer fan, baseball, basketball. It don't matter. I'm UNC through and through. Ever since I was probably like 6 years old, man. Yes, yes, for sure, man. Yeah, yeah, man. West Virginia. Shout out to West Virginia, man. Shout out to Pat White. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you know, you know, man. That was one of the most fun teams to play with on the video game with Pat White. Those dudes was sick, bro. Yeah, 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 yeah. Nah, you ain't got to mention that. You ain't got to mention that. You ain't got to mention that. But hey, it's all respect. College football is one of the best times of the year. I honestly probably like it more than professional football right now, just because my home team, the Carolina Panthers, are pretty bad and have been historically bad for a long time. A long, long time. So, um, college football, I can actually sit down and watch just about any college football game, unless it's just, super boring, which is rare, just because I feel like college football players, they play with more passion, more drive. The NFL, you can debate whether players play hard every game or not, but yeah, yeah, the Carolina Panthers, man, I've been a fan. Like, I'll be 40 next year, and so I've been a fan since the Panthers got here. And historically, we've been one of the worst teams. As far as winning seasons, as far as accomplishments or lack of accomplishments. And people always talk about the times we went to the Super Bowl. Let's be honest, man. Going to the Super Bowl is nice and all, but losing it, it's the worst feeling in the world. So we're still a part of the Super Bowl winless club, and until we get one of those rings, man, it's gonna be hard, man. It's hard being a Charlotte sports fan. Period. The Hornets don't make it no better. We don't have a pro team in West Virginia. Yeah, man. Yeah, and that's what I love, bro. That's what I love, man. It's one of those things with college football. Is like, when you genuinely love your school, or you love, whatever, whoever you root for in college. It's the atmosphere of the college game is so different than a professional game. It is just ridiculous, man. And me even being a Carolina fan, it's just one of those things. Like, I've been to Carolina basketball games. I've been in the Dean Dome. I've been to the football games when we had some of our best teams. And I know people. I'm gonna mention a guy that a lot of people may crack on as a pro, but as a collegiate player, this guy was really good. And that's Mitchell Trubisky. When Mitchell Trubisky played for the Tar Heels, man, we had a phenomenal roster, man. Even in the Butch Davis era, at Carolina, we had so many good players. And again, it was kind of a tainted era, right? Like, if NIL existed then, Butch Davis might still be the head coach at Carolina. You know what I'm saying? But we had a lot of talent. I just remember going to the games like with my son and my wife and my daughter, and it was just over the top, bro. It was just Ryan Switzer, the GOAT, bro. I think my son just met Ryan Switzer recently. He texted me. Shout out to my son. He's asleep upstairs right now, but he just graduated high school last year. So, this year, actually, this summer. And he texted in the family group chat the other day and was like, "Dad, who was Ryan Switzer?" And I'm like, "What you mean, who is Ryan Switzer?" You know what I'm saying? The GOAT, you know what I mean? Man, punt returner, do it all, man, for Carolina. That dude was lightning in a bottle for Carolina, bro. Like, one of the greatest ever. Unfortunately, he did deal with some injuries in his professional career, but that dude was just so exciting to watch, man. Virginia, period, put out some phenomenal athletes. Phenomenal athletes, man. I mean, you go through the history, it's crazy, man. I dare you look up the Space movie came out in 1992. As long as you have a good sense of humor. Now, I appreciate it, man. Um, right. That's crazy, bro. That is crazy. And hold on, take a sip of my tea. It's early. Got to make sure my pipes working correctly. But I just remember Ryan Switzer being that guy when the ball touched his hands, like whether it was a kick return, punt return, whether he was playing in the slot, whether it was a deep ball, you just knew when he touched the ball, something exciting was going to happen, man. That guy was so exciting to watch. That is crazy. I bet they regretted that. I'm sure they regretted that because he came to Chapel Hill. And honestly, it's crazy how so many like in life your decisions are connected to other people's destinies. And his decision to not even offer him was connected to, his destiny here with Chapel Hill. You know what I'm saying? And that was for him to be able to become what he was for us. Because say he would have went to West Virginia, who knows what would have happened, right? But I'm just speaking on like how one person's decision is connected to other people's destinies. And like, that's why it's important that you make the decisions that you're supposed to make. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I know as a West Virginia fan, you're like, man, he should have been in a West Virginia uniform. But as a Carolina fan, I'm like, yo, I'm happy West Virginia didn't offer him. You know what I'm saying? Because he came here and just lit it up. Lit it up, man. Nah, Steve Slayton, crazy. Man, yo, that roster was so wild, bro. Y'all had a three-headed monster out of this world. And when you think about the college football game, that I just alluded to not too long ago about to come back out, I think about some of the most popular teams that I played with as a kid on that video game. And one of those was that West Virginia team. Of course, the University of Miami rosters. I mean, just close your eyes and point to a year, right? They had so much talent, and you put that on a video game, it was just ridiculous, Miami. And then the USC teams. I think, and you can't forget about Vince Young at Texas. You know what I'm saying? But as far as overall teams, that West Virginia team, three-headed monster, Miami for sure, and then USC. Those were the teams outside of Carolina. Like if I was just playing against somebody on the game, those are one of the teams I definitely had to pick. Oh, yeah, man, Tavon Austin. Bro, like, arguably, like I said, like that roster, bro, and the way those guys played, it was just like must-see TV. It was must-see TV. Like, whoever touched the ball, it was like the potential to go to the house was just like up here. You know what I'm saying? Like, we were expecting it. It was just like USC. Like, you hand Reggie Bush the ball, you pretty much knew something crazy was about to happen. Vince Young with the ball in his hand, you knew something crazy was about to happen. Mike Vick, you know what I mean, at Virginia Tech, we knew something crazy was about to happen. And even in Miami, like, it was just like, whoever the running back was, it was so many great ones, but it's just like whoever they handed the ball to, something was going to happen. No wide receivers, like, it just didn't matter. The defense was crazy at Miami. It was just, man, bro, like, what a time to be alive. What a time to be alive. And I just think that, college football is great and all now, but I do realize that money controls so much now that a lot of teams, especially like a team like myself that I like to watch in Carolina, it's hard for us. Like, it's hard for us to get the recruits. It's hard to just compete with these schools. You know what I'm saying? But we got some money up in Chapel Hill, so you know what I mean. We haven't been completely hurting on getting talent. We've been able to get talent. Of course, Drake May. Shout out to Drake May. Went to my high school, my former high school that I went to a long time before he went there. Myers Park High School in Charlotte, North Carolina. But we've been doing pretty good. We've been doing pretty good considering our competition. You know what I'm saying? We've been doing pretty good as far as recruiting. I was hoping that Josh Downs' brother, if you're familiar with Carolina and you know about Josh Downs, he plays for the Indianapolis Colts now, wide receiver, slot receiver. He was a do-it-all guy for us. Man, we missed him last year. That dude was so sick in a Carolina uniform, just the heart of a lion. That guy, man. His brother is a safety for Ohio State. And at one point in time, I thought the dude was going to commit to Carolina. I had so much hope he was going to commit to Carolina, but I get it. You know what I'm saying? He's at Ohio State, and he's actually, when I was looking at some of the college football rankings for the video game, I believe it's Caleb Downs is his brother. He's ranked like as one of the highest, I think he's one of the highest rated defensive players on the college football video game. I think he's ranked like 95 or something, man. Yeah. Tez is good too. Shout out to Tez Walker. Again, out of Charlotte, North Carolina, West Charlotte. Yeah, Caleb Downs, man. Yeah, that dude's a freak, bro. But my thing is, like, I get why coming to Carolina, because our defense has not been impressive for a very, very long time. We may have a player here or there that ends up going to the NFL and finds his way and find a lane in the NFL and does pretty decent. But the last group of like star players or the last really good group we had on defense was probably back when Butch Davis was our coach. You know what I'm saying? And again, that was a tainted era. It was frowned upon, I get it. But we had a beast of a D-line when Butch Davis was there. We had a secondary. We had linebackers, man. That team was so good, bro. They were so good. But Tez, man, I'm interested to see what Tez does. I think he's with the Ravens, I believe. And I think that's a very good spot for him. A guy, 4.3 speed, 6'3", can stretch the field. And I think Lamar Jackson needs a guy that can, a young guy that can come in there and that's hungry to be successful. So I'm very interested to see how that goes. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, man. Great question. Like, so my content, honestly, man, I did a podcast for 3 years. When COVID started, we were all in the house, right? And I always believed that, the bass in my voice, like as a kid, like I would always get joked on. I would get the Barry White comparison, like from the older folks when I was a kid. Like, oh, you got a Barry White voice as a young kid. Um, but as I got older, I realized that my voice was, it was a gift. Like God gave me this tone in my voice for a reason, and I never really thought about using it until COVID. And so during COVID, yeah, if you know Barry White, man. If you know, you got to be old enough to know. And maybe some young people know who Barry White is, but during COVID, man, just being locked in the crib, I was like, yo, I'm gonna start a podcast, and it's actually 7 seasons worth of this podcast available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts, and it's called the Mud Talk Podcast. And so I did 7 seasons worth of content, about 3 years worth of content, where I just really talked about life, and I was just, my aim on the podcast was to inspire people because I've been through a lot in life. Faced a lot of adversity, and I know a lot of young people in today's world, they're just oh man, the amount of adversity they face every day and the challenges is just crazy. And so I did the podcast for 3 years. It was great and all, was monetized, all of that stuff, but I realized that YouTube is where it was at. You know what I'm saying? But I couldn't figure out how to break into YouTube. So I have these other passions. I also own a clothing brand. I wear my clothing brand in every video that I shoot. And it's a streetwear brand. It's called Raw Melon Apparel. And so I was like, what can I do on YouTube that is interesting to me, that can be of value to other people that are interested in a similar thing? So, I decided to do, fashion content. And I also do sports content, but I primarily put like sports on my YouTube Shorts feed. So I'll do like different clips, cool clips. Lately I've been putting up the Bronny James clips or the LeBron James clips or whatever. But my lane right now is fashion and sports, and I'm gearing towards this football season. Actually, getting out some long form content as it pertains to sports, because YouTube is tough, man. YouTube is a very, very tough place to not be successful, but to be consistent. Because when a video doesn't do well, it's easy to like be like, man, crap, I don't want to do another video this week or next week. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta be consistent on YouTube, and that's what I'm learning. And I've also learned that doing these lives are what YouTube wants. And so I was like, yo, I'm about to start doing lives. I'm about to get on here and just start talking about the things that I'm very, very passionate about. One of which is sports. Fashion is something I'm passionate about. I'm very passionate about family, and just living life the right way. I think that everybody has a different definition of that, but for me, I've learned the hard way that living life right is the only option for me. And so, I encourage a lot of young people to do that. I also owned and operated a travel basketball organization for 5 years prior to COVID. So I coached ball for a long time, and yeah, man, yeah, it's I'm doing long form for 3 years. I got 4K subs on the b-ball, one football, both college. Most of the money I make is through sponsorships. Hey, man, that's dope. That's dope, bro. Yeah, we definitely got to connect, man. Link with me on IG too, bro. That way we can DM each other and communicate. Let's follow each other, and let's continue to grow, man. I'm here for whatever tips, tricks, tools that you can, let me know about, because this YouTube thing is a beast, bro. It takes some mental fortitude. You know what I mean? Because number one, the time that's involved in, and number two, like you put out a video that you may think is really good on a topic that you think is really good, and nobody thinks is really good. You know what I'm saying? And that's one of the toughest things. Yeah, man. Especially tell me, are you getting? Do you play video games, and do you plan on? If you play video games, are you going to get the new NCAA football game when it comes out? I believe it's this week, if I'm not mistaken. I'll check my calendar, the 19th, right? Yeah, that's this week coming up. I'm actually going to be out of town. I'm actually going to be in Virginia Thursday I'll be in Virginia. I gotta go, I get to go to a wedding, my wife's family, so I'll be up in Virginia for a few days. You already got it. Oh man, yeah, that's crazy, man. That's crazy, man. Yeah, I seen some collegiate players that I know because I have a lot of collegiate players that rock my brand and shop with my brand. So I got some players at Wake Forest that I know, Georgia Tech, football players, and I seen them posting clips on their stories on Instagram playing the game, with their players. It's got to be like the coolest thing in the world, and they're getting paid to do it. I think I did the research, and I think it's about EA Sports is paying each player that opted into being on the video game. I think something like $600 if I'm not mistaken. So not a ton of money, but when you put things into perspective, I think it's like 134 FBS teams or something like that. A ton of players on the team if you include all the active players, red shirts, all of that stuff. Each player's getting $600. You do that times 134 teams. That's a lot of money. That's some millions for real. Yeah, man. Oh, for sure, bro. I would appreciate that, man. When I think about fashion, I look at the people that inspire me the most, and a lot of which is athletes, man. Women's college basketball players, WNBA players, NBA players, college football players, the people that have the influence. So if they're wearing something and people see it and it's dope, and they like, yo, where'd you get that from? You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh yeah, that's Raw Melon Apparel. Give them the website. You know what I mean? It's like a free plug. So yeah, tell them to lock in with me. I have two Instagram pages. I always put the link to both of those pages in the description box of each video that I release. And so that's of course the Mud Talk radio channel. And then I also put my Raw Melon Apparel link in the description box as well. 4 million to be exact. That's for real, man. Shout out to my wife in the chat, man. She probably didn't heard me talking so much this morning. She probably just joined the live. This is a rare moment that my wife is joining the live. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to you. Yeah, we were in the car talking about this, and we did the math, and it was upwards of 4 million. Yeah, for sure, man. For sure. Like, as long as it makes sense, one thing I found in this fashion industry is that you have to find people that fit what you're doing. Like, it has to be a fashion forward person. Like, a lot of athletes love to look nice. You know what I'm saying? And if they're always posting their content and, they getting drippy, you know what I'm saying? They getting fly, then yeah, that's what I want. I want them to be able to post something, with my gear on, because I do believe I come out with some of the dopest designs, period. I have 100% faith in my designs. Like this shirt, like you probably see the back. That's the back of the shirt. This is actually a sample. It is available on my website right now for pre-order, but been doing a sample. I've done two samples of these shirts with a local manufacturer. I typically outsource my work, but I've been testing some local people because you want to shop local. You want to kind of keep the money here. I send a lot of money overseas, and those guys are great and all. But once you get your product and it's not right, you're stuck with it. You know what I'm saying? So locally, I'm able to kind of tweak that, on a local level and actually go talk to them and say, hey, I didn't like this, or maybe on the next one, let's do this. And so it's kind of easier. It costs a little bit more, but I'm open to the idea of that. And so that's what I've been doing right now. But yeah, let's lock in for sure, man. Like West Virginia, my only rival in college football or basketball is Duke. I don't hate no other team, man. That's the beautiful thing about college. Like, Duke is the only team I don't like. Like, I'm not going to root for them. I'm not going to clap for them. I'm not going to wish good on them. You know what I'm saying? Like, in the end of the day, like, I hope that all their players have a healthy season. I'm not some crazy man that wants kids to get hurt or nothing like that. But I really don't like Duke. I do not like Duke. I don't root for them, and I can't rock with them. Now, when their players get to the pros and they do really well, they're professionals now. So I don't really, it doesn't go beyond, college, because, professional, if you become a good NBA player, good NFL player, like, I'm cool with that. Um if you're interested in small sponsorship, I could give you a 30-second promo. Post your banners on my website if you don't know me. But yeah, man, let's definitely connect, bro. I'm open to, you know, being introduced to your audience and vice versa, bro. Like, how can I help you? I think in this world, I've learned that the people that are really doing well don't hesitate to either give game or to help other people. You get what I'm saying? Shout out to Kenya in the building, man. Shout out to Kenya. Soon on these lives, I'm gonna give me a little board to where I can press a button. You know what I'm saying? Every time somebody, drops something in the chat. Kenya, man. Kenya, tell me what time is it right now in Kenya? And tell me what the temperature is. Because right now it is heating up here in the United States of America. On the East Coast, in North Carolina. It's probably 80 plus degrees right now, and it's 9:18 in the morning. So tell me what time it is, and tell me what the temperature is. Oh, for sure, man. You can definitely Mud Talk Radio, just like the name of the channel. Mud Talk Radio at gmail.com, and just yeah, shoot me an email, bro, and let's talk for real, man, because growth can only happen by, taking leaps of faith and getting uncomfortable and getting into places that you're not used to being in. And so, if I would have never got up here on this live this morning, because I was actually about to go walk the dog, and if I would have did that, we probably would have been still walking right now. But I was like, you know what? Let me cut this ring light on. Let me make me some tea, and let me get on this live. For sure, man. But I know one thing, man, is that tell me with the college football game, how different is it? Or let's see, how would I phrase this question? Is it better than the last Madden? Is it more interesting than the last Madden? Because I feel like I love Madden, but lately for me, and maybe because my son has a PlayStation 5, but I don't get to play games as much as I used to growing up. So I'm still on the P4, and eventually I'm going to get a P5. And of course I can go in my son's room and play his P5. But do you think the college football game is better than Madden? Do you think it's better than Madden? Just let me know. Because Madden, I feel like every year they just keep putting out the same game, and it's kind of frustrating. It's just like a different roster. You know what I'm saying? I remember a point in time where we used to get excited about Madden and what the new feature would be, I believe it. The hype is crazy. The anticipation has been crazy. The fact that we've been waiting on a game for this long, it's just unbelievable, because what I like to do is, of course, I like to build up my team with Carolina, right? Doing the recruiting, right? Getting the players. Of course, I go out there and put myself at like free safety, you know what I'm saying? As if, my skinny self could go play free safety. Football was my first love. Like, I really wish I would have been able to play football at a young age, but grew up really poor. My mom, substance abuse addict. We never, I never really had opportunities. You know what I'm saying? If it involved money to play a sport, I didn't have that many opportunities. It wasn't until like middle school when coaches started realizing, oh, you're kind of tall. Come on out here and play basketball. We'll pay for you. And I started to play basketball, and that ended up being my sport. But I always loved football, man. I wanted to be a free safety so bad, or a cornerback. And at one point in time, I wanted to be a quarterback. You know what I'm saying? In a different life, I believed that I could have been a good quarterback. I ain't got the arm, but in my mind, I thought I could be a quarterback. The announcers are Reese Davis and a couple. Oh, yeah, Reese Davis. Fire, bro. Fire. Yeah, I'm definitely going to end up getting the game. My wife was like, are you getting it? And I kind of gave her an answer without giving her an answer. I was like, yeah, I don't know. I don't really have time like that. Yeah, man. For sure, man. For sure. And that's one of those big things, bro. Like YouTube, and I think one of the biggest things that I dealt with when I first started YouTube was coming from a podcast that I had I don't know, man, like thousands and thousands of downloads and plays. And I think that, I was concerned about creating a new foundation over here on YouTube, a new audience, right? Like, who was going to rock with me? Like, why would people decide to click on my content? And the number one thing that stood out to me was just being transparent. There's a lot of great channels that put on these productions. And again, I do sneaker reviews and fashion content, and I don't review every shoe, right? Because the reality is I don't hit on every sneaker. There's shoes that are extremely hard to get, and I don't get them. So, any shoe that I bring to my channel, I deem it to be fashionable. But the number one thing was that I was going to be transparent on my channel. And I wanted my people, the people that actually support me, because once you support me, we're family over here. And that's why I call it the Mud Talk family. It's transparency is huge, because why would you want to support somebody that's, not being real or being honest or transparent? I know there's a lot of people that do, but I wasn't going to be that. And so for me, transparency is key. Honesty is key. Like, I just can't be anything outside of myself. And so I said, that's what I'm going to give YouTube, and whoever rocks with it is going to rock with it. And whatever crowd God has for me is going to be for me. And shout out to you on 5 years, bro. That's a beautiful thing. I look at my mom today, who my whole life dealt with substance abuse, right? Like as a kid, we was going through it, right? We was going through it. I'm talking about so many different situations. But looking at my mom now, right? Like knowing that she's clean and she's a homeowner now and she has a job, and we just took our first flight a couple of weeks ago with my mom and my niece. She's taking care of my niece, and we all took a flight. My whole family, my wife, it was my mom, my niece, her grandkids, all on a flight. And as a kid, we never talked about flying anywhere. That was never a topic of a discussion. And just to see her being clean is number one. Because if she would have never gotten clean, a lot of these things wouldn't even be possible. So, and I really understand now as an adult the challenges that she faced trying to become clean, and trying to, get over those vices and things like that. And so I just think that it's a phenomenal thing, man. And I salute to everybody who is on this journey and, maybe even thinking about it and saying that they can't do it. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man. Yeah, my mom, man, she's just, man, wow, she overcame a lot, bro. She overcame a lot. So anybody that's talking about that, man, I salute them. Anybody that's going through that, man, like my heart goes out to you. I'm praying for you, man. I'm praying that God gives you the strength and everything that you need, and put the people in your life that speak towards where you're going and not where you came from. You know what I'm saying? Because that's very, very important. But it's possible, bro. It's possible. Oh, for sure, bro. And you got this, dog. You got this, bro. You got this. You got this, man. It's like I always tell people, it's the people you're around. And people say, man, I make my own decisions, whoop de whoop de whoop. I'm strong, this, that, and the third. And I get it. You may be strong, but the crowd you hang around and the crowd you keep is very, very important to your success. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't, put yourself around the right people, then it's going to be hard to continue, man. So as my dog has just come over here, he's just been let out. I'm any golden dude. Anytime I'm on camera, it's like he know. You know what I'm saying? He just over here chilling. I'm surprised he ain't try to jump on me. But yeah, man. Anytime, bro. Anytime, bro. And one thing I try to tell people, bro, the crazy part about it is, man, interesting story, man. And this is why I say it's a lot. And doing these lives, people will actually get to know, who Coach T is, right? Like, and I think like my mom, I love her to death. Like, I feel like I could write a book one day about, the things that she overcame and like the childhood and everything. But my mom, very interesting fact is like when I was a kid, like my mom got arrested for attempted murder. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, as a child, imagine experiencing that, right? Like at 5 or 6, I wasn't, let's just say, I was probably, my brother was in kindergarten, my baby brother. So I was probably like maybe 9 or 10 years old. And my mom literally almost took a man's life right in front of me. You know what I'm saying? Like literally the guy was like this close to dying. And so my mom went to prison, and, eventually she was acquitted for, self-defense. But, as a kid, man, I'm cleaning up blood. My mom had just, almost stabbed somebody to death, right? And she was also on drugs. That person was on drugs. It was just a lot, bruh. It was a lot. And when I look at that version of my mom, and to believe that this version of my mom today, like people can't even believe that my mom was that type of person. You know what I'm saying? So I believe that anybody can overcome anything that you're going through. It's possible, bro. It's possible. Because that version of my mom, like, I look at her today and I'm like, wow. You know what I'm saying? God is so amazing, bro. God is so amazing, bro. And he's real. And again, I'm not here to push religion on anybody. You know, I don't want people thinking that's the agenda and it's cool. But in the end of the day, you know, it's crazy that most people, you know what I'm saying, most people will have their opinions about whatever, you know what I'm saying? But I can only speak on what I've been through. I can only speak on what I've been through. And just knowing that addiction is a real thing, and I don't frown upon anybody that's dealing with it or going through it. You know, I'm here to encourage you and let you know, bro. Hey, you got a friend in me, bro, because I know what it looks like. You know what I'm saying? I know what it looks like, and if you can overcome that, bro, you can literally accomplish anything in this world, man. Shout out to Superfly Kicks in the building, man. The OG, man. You know, we talking about genuine people, bro. Like one of the most genuine people I've met in this YouTube space that I met through someone else. And shout out to my dog, Trap Panda. But you know, I met Superfly Kicks through him, a extremely successful YouTuber, man, thousands of subscribers, and he's running the whole business on this thing, and he's never hesitated to give game or to show love, and it just speaks to what I alluded to earlier, that successful people, whatever field they're in, they don't hesitate to show love. They don't hesitate to give game because it doesn't take away from anything they're doing. They're like, yo, I know if I give you game, it ain't gonna do nothing but help you be successful. It ain't gonna make me any less successful than I already am. So, you know, I really do appreciate you, dog, for really motivating me, bro, to keep going with this thing. Cause you know, this YouTube thing is a grind, bro. And if you don't already subscribe to Superfly Kicks, if you into some dope sneaker content, if you want somebody that's getting every shoe just about, gonna give you the news that you can use, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Superfly Kicks, and that's the flyway, man. That's the flyway for real, for real. Yeah. Oh, dog, you say you've been on the whole time. That's what's up, bro. I really appreciate it, man. This is my second live. Ever since, you know, I was able to get my channel subscriptions going and to you know, get one level of monetization unlocked. I said I'm gonna start doing lives, and this is where I'm at now. So on live, I share a lot of the other topics that, you know, I speak about in the intros of my videos that I haven't really done any long forms on yet. But there's more. There's so many layers to who Coach T is, and I think that, you know, one of the most important ones with me is that, you know, I'm transparent and I'm going to be honest, and I want to connect with people on that level. You know what I mean? Because there's nothing wrong with being honest, bro. There's nothing wrong with being yourself. There's nothing wrong with being yourself, and that's all I can be. Um, yeah. Sub them up, bro. You won't be disappointed. You won't be disappointed, man. You know, join the Fly Gang. You know what I'm saying? You rocking with them the Flyway. You feel me? You know what I mean? I recently picked up an interesting pair of shoes that I'm actually gonna shoot a review today. I picked them up for my son. I looked at them for myself, and then when I seen them in person, I was like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that's for me. It might be for the young folk. We sent my son a picture when we was at the mall, and my wife, we actually was out the mall and had to do a U-turn and spin the block and go back and get them, because he was like, yeah, I was just about to get those. And I'm like, yeah, sure you were. You know what I mean? Sure you were. But yeah, we went back and got them. So I'm gonna shoot a review on those today, man. It's a very interesting sneaker. It'll be the first on the channel that I'm shooting of this shoe. Be the first time I'm bringing it to the channel, so it's gonna be history in the making, and I'm excited about that, man. Yeah, this live has been dope, man. We've been on here 43 minutes, man. 43 minutes, and you know, I would hope that everybody who's joined the live or has tapped into the live. There's been a lot of people in and out. At one point in time, I think we had like 30 people in the chat. You know, from all different countries tapping in. And I just want people to know, like, if you're interested in this type of content, if you're interested in, you know, fashion, if you're interested in sports, life, and culture, then this channel is for you. If you're interested in, you know, a transparent person that's doing this content over here on YouTube, then this channel is for you. Man, I would encourage you to hit the like button, to hit the subscribe button, and, you know, if you want to take it a step further, go ahead and join the Mud Talk family, man. For $4.99 a month, I think, you know, I'm gonna bring you guys. I'm giving y'all my best. I'm giving y'all my best because as we continue to grow in this channel, I'm gonna continue to peel back the layers and give you guys this raw content. You know what I mean? Because I think that's what YouTube wants, man. They're pushing out the raw content. They want people to be raw and be Be honest, man. We see some of the most successful channels not putting on the biggest productions because YouTube is like, that's what they want. They're competing with TikTok and they're competing with all of these other platforms, and they're noticing that on TikTok, people just being themselves. And that's one of the most important things, is being yourself. And so over here on YouTube, they're trying to push people being themselves. And that's what I'm gonna be over here on the channel. So I really do appreciate people, man, for tapping in, locking in with me. All 11 people that hit that thumbs up button, man, I really do appreciate you guys. I'm about to probably get me some breakfast here in a second. My guy, man, Mountaineer Paul Talks Football, man. I appreciate you, dog. I appreciate meeting you. It was a pleasure. Let's lock in. Let's make something happen. Let's work together. Let's connect. But as I say on every single video, love is free. Hate costs. You've been watching Mud Talk with your boy, Coach T. I'm out.